excited to have you guys on here. This is the Complete Athlete Podcast where we get you to your next level in your sport and in life, that sport being baseball. We got Joey Reinertz here and Ryan Wilhelm. Thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Excited to have you guys on. Like, what were you guys thinking when I first asked you to be on this podcast? Let's be honest.
I've never been on a podcast before, so I was like, all right, let's do it.
All right, let's just do it.
Yeah, I was pretty excited. I thought it'd be pretty cool.
No, it's fun. Yeah, I mean, the main reason we started this was wherever a player's at is to help them get to that next level, wherever it is. Obviously, you guys are in college right now at Minnesota Morris. Go Cougs, right?
Roll Cougs.
Yep. Is it Roll Cougs? Do you guys like have a saying for that?
Yeah, it's Roll Cougs.
Okay, like you got the shirts, like hashtag Roll Cougs.
I don't know if we have that yet. I don't know if we have the hashtag Roll Cougs.
Better bring it up to the coach.
We will, yeah.
Since he's really open to the.
It's all. I don't have it on, but it's all play for the pile.
Yeah, we got play for the pile. That's kind of our slogan.
Oh.
Pile could mean a lot of things, but okay.
Play for the dog pile.
Dog pile.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I love it. That actually reminds me, like, one of my last games of my college career, like, we did the dog pile on the mound.
Yeah.
Because we beat the number one team in the nation 2 times in a row. So you got to do a dog pile then, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So we want to first learn a little bit about you guys. Obviously, it's both you guys being interviewed at the same time. So we'll start with Joey. Tell us a little bit about yourself, like kind of how you grew up playing career, like what you did for Little League, like house ball, moving into traveling, high school. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I did house ball through Blaine, so I think it was like the BALO Association.
Blaine Area Little League.
Yep.
I did it, man, too. 2 years.
Yeah, so I did that, and then I moved on to the traveling just through the Blaine Association.
Okay.
I think I started when I was like 10 or 11, something like that, and I played all the way till 13U because I was a little young for my age. So
okay.
I didn't play 14. I went from 13 AAA straight to the high school ball.
You did the exact same thing that I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that because your birthday's August 8th.
Yep.
Mine's August 14th.
Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah, and then I moved out to Tino Grace.
Hey-o.
Played there.
Yep.
And kind of got cut short senior year, but because of COVID.
Too bad, man.
Yeah, but I guess COVID was good and bad for me because that's when it brought me the opportunity to play at Morris. That's when I got recruited. Was actually on my spring break trip for baseball.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Sweet. For like high school with TG, you guys did a trip down to Florida?
Yep, we were going to practice down there. We were maybe going to get a scrimmage or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like the second day in, and then I got a text from our head coach, and pretty much 2 weeks after that, I was committing to Morris. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Like, so for all of our younger guys that like watch our podcast and stuff, like during that recruiting process, like how was it? Like, how did the coach approach you? Like, how did you present yourself? Like all that different stuff.
I think the recruiting process was really fun.
Yeah.
Because it was, not to be selfish, but it was all about you. So
yeah. You have a coach coming up to you. We like you.
Yeah.
You pitch really good, like this.
Yeah.
Like, we want you to come to
Yeah.
us.
So it's all about like hyping yourself up,
Yeah.
pretty much. So yeah, that was fun. I guess like from a coaching standpoint, I liked how our head coach approached me. He texted me, then I told him like I was on spring break, so I won't be able to get back to him or whatever. But then got back home, and then we set up a call, and I think he'd check in with me every every week, like maybe one day or maybe 2 days out of the week. But we'd have a call like once a week, I think, and then I think
This was before you decided?
Yeah, this was before we decided.
Okay.
But then I think by week 3 I was signing my papers, getting ready to go. So, but it was crazy because I had to do a virtual tour. So I never actually saw the school. But
You're like, I'm just going into this Lions Den. I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah, so I never saw the school like in person until I showed up for move-in day.
Wow.
So that was kind of crazy too.
You could have been like, got there and you'd be like, I'm out. Like,
yeah.
no, you're like,
yeah.
I love it.
No,
So
but
sweet.
yeah, I liked how he was kind of projecting the program to look for the next few years, and so far I think it's turned out to be a pretty successful kind of ride that he's taken us on so far.
And you're
junior.
You're junior right
Yeah.
now. Okay, cool. Well, that gives us a little framework just for the younger guys who are still trying to get recruited for college. Let the coach respond to the coach when he hits you up, and if you can't talk to him during that time, let him know that you will be in contact with him, because if you don't respond, they might just cross you right off their list.
Yep.
Ryan, tell us a little bit about yourself and like how you grew up as a baseball player, where you played at, and everything.
Yeah, I actually played house ball in St. Paul at Parkway Little League.
Parkway Little League.
Yep.
So that Taylor kid we were telling you about, 16-year-old, I think he played in that little league too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and then
Sweet.
I went into high school. I was summer ball for East Twins Babe Ruth League.
That's the same league that he played in.
No way.
I mean, he's like 15, 16
Yeah.
right now, but he
Is
just.
it in St. Paul?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
hilarious. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a lot
Okay.
of fun. They do an all-star team at the end of the year, and you travel to around the region or whatever, Colorado, Iowa, places like that.
Sweet. What like age groups did you play for that till like you were 15?
I think I played Oakdale traveling,
Okay.
11, 12,
Yep.
and then like 13 to up until actually my summer of college. I played with them in the summer, so
Really?
yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And then where'd you go? Did you play high school ball?
Yeah, so I played at Hill Murray. And
Hill Murray.
I actually used to be a third baseman, kind of transitioned to a pitcher when I went to Morris, so
It's way more fun,
yeah.
to be honest. You get to
It's
control the
a
game.
lot more freedom.
100%.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be in that hot corner and be guessing like if the guy's gonna blow one right by your
Yep.
shin.
That's true.
I like shortstop, but never third. At TG, they actually tried to get me to play some third, and I was like,
Oh, really?
I don't really like this.
Yeah, I started at third, and then I transitioned to outfield.
Oh,
And then
really?
Yeah. Then I went to college and came in as a two-way, and then last year was just a pitcher.
Okay.
So,
Got
yeah.
it. And so Ryan, you're a fifth year senior.
Yeah, I'm a fifth-year senior.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your college journey and like how it's gone. Actually, let's first go back to like how you're recruiting and all that, and then talk a little bit
Yeah, the
about your
recruiting
college.
thing for me is kind of unique because as when I was like a junior in high school, I kind of knew that I wanted to go to Morris just because I knew I had a tuition waiver there because
Yeah.
I'm Native American. And so that was basically one of the only schools on my mind. And then my senior year reached out on the questionnaire online to them and filled out this form that said I wanted to play baseball. Kind of like a week later, coach reached out to me. I was talking on the phone with him and stuff, and that was basically talked about my background in baseball and stuff, and they wanted me to come play with them. So
Sweet, that's awesome to hear. It seems like your guys' coach. It sounds like is very invested in like your guys' personal relationship too. It's not just like a one-way street. Like he's just there, and there's a bunch of guys on your team. How many guys are on your team?
I
I
think,
think it's about 30.
yeah, just around 30.
Oh, really?
I'd say so.
So
Yeah.
you don't have like a JV roster or anything like that? Or do
Maybe
ya?
maybe this year. I know we have some games scheduled for JV, but I think
Okay.
weather pending. That'll
'Cause
just
When I went to Jamestown, like we had 65.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
but there was like a full like 2 teams like JV roster, some freshmen or red shirts and things like that, and then I think we carried like 25, 13 pitchers, 12 position players, and then that rotate. So like you're always wondering like, oh, are you going to be on the next travel roster for that next weekend if you're playing games at US Bank or down in Arizona or whatever.
Yeah, our roster's not as big as those other schools like that, so it's kind of like it's all like varsity, and it's like everyone travels for the most part. So
Got it. Cool. Yeah, the only time I've been to Morris has been for some weddings for my family in western Minnesota. I forget the place that we went to. I don't know. It's in like an old bar or just old ballroom type thing, but it's a small town. Like, how many people live there?
I think it's like 4,000 or 5,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
The school pretty much makes up the town. I mean,
Makes sense.
there is townies, but a lot of it is like
We had townies up at Jamestown
Yeah.
too. I mean, 10,000 people in that town.
yeah. I mean, it's pretty agriculture based, so
Oh yeah.
I think a lot of the population, because it's not so high, it's based off of like farmland and stuff.
Mhm.
So everything's pretty spread out up there.
Yeah, no, it's definitely that western Minnesota vibe. Moving on from tell us a little bit about your college journey, Ryan, and you as well so far. Like you're in your junior year, just about to start your junior playing season. You're in your 5th year, so you've gone through everything, the COVID season,
Mhm.
like all that. Tell us how it's gone, like as a freshman, like being like kind of like an underdog, I guess you could say. Like you
Yeah.
have to claim your spot to like now you're more, a veteran on the
Yeah.
squad.
Yeah, it's been pretty weird, honestly. My freshman year, I got 1 inning in Florida, and that was kind of we got a full season before COVID happened, so, I mean, we got a lot of guys on the team, and then I'm a freshman that's
Yep.
just transitioning to be a pitcher, so I only got about 1 inning. And then my sophomore year, we ended up going to Houston, played 4 games there, and then on the plane ride back, they canceled the season pretty much, so.
Dang. At least
Yeah.
you got some games in, but still
Yeah.
sucks.
And then my next season was junior year, and then it was like we got 20 games in around there. I feel like maybe a little bit more. Was that your freshman year?
Yeah, I think that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
And
would,
then-
that would line up.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so COVID was still a thing then, so it kind of didn't get a full season there. So honestly, last season.
What, did some games get canceled that year too?
Yeah. And then last season was kind of my first, what I felt like was my first full year of actually like being a pitcher and being on a college team with all the practice and stuff. And then this really feels like my third year, and I'm a fifth-year senior, so it's kind of been weird. But
that is crazy. Are there other fifth-year seniors?
Yeah, there's actually my two roommates, Brian Vanyu and Alex Bauman. They're fifth-year seniors. And then we have a couple of guys who've transferred in and stuff. But
okay.
Yeah, those are the two guys that have been with me since my freshman year. So
got it. And how's the team done just in general the last few years, and what's the outlook, I guess you could say?
It's really been like a slow build until last season. We kind of flipped things around and set a school wins record. So
awesome.
Yep.
Nice. Cool. And then Joey, for your journey, since it's the start of your junior year, how's it been so far as a freshman, sophomore, and then this year?
Freshman year was really interesting because like coming in, I obviously like never saw the school, so I didn't know how like baseball was gonna be either. Yeah, we couldn't practice until like maybe like starting in October. So freshman year was rough in the fall because we were practicing when it was like 30 degrees outside, and up there it gets really windy too.
Oh yeah.
So
that's the worst.
It was just like blowing winds, like super early lifts too. I'd never done that in high school either. So just I guess adjusting was kind of like not difficult, but it was interesting. But yeah, freshman season was pretty good. We didn't really have that big of a roster, so I got time on the mound as a freshman, which I think kind of helped me like get to where I was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird thing about that year. Like, I think with COVID, it kind of affected like getting guys to commit and stuff because not a lot of contact was going on. So the recruiting class wasn't big for his year.
Yeah, I think now from my recruiting class, there's 3 of us left, and one kid is gonna graduate this year because he has like enough credits or whatever. Yeah. So from my class, technically, there's 2 of us left. Wow. Which is just nuts, and he's my roommate. So, and he should be graduating this year or maybe even last year, but yeah, I don't even know. He's declared a junior, but yeah, so it's crazy. And then last year, sophomore year, like kind of what Ryan said, I think we really like flipped around the win column. Freshman year was really tough. I think we only won like 7 or 8 games, something like that. Yeah. And last year we started hot, kind of hit a rough patch in the middle, and then we finished really strong at the end. We won like 9 out of 10 games in a 6-day stretch.
That's crazy.
So we were playing 2-3 games a day within like an entire week.
That's insane.
That was crazy. But yeah, it's been really fun.
Do you think like because of like the last few years with COVID happening in February, March of 2020, like you guys not being able to like build a team culture because like everything's just so incremental, like you'd be able to practice a little bit and then everything gets shut down, and like because it sounds like it just took like a few years for your team to kind of like gel and build that culture and that camaraderie, and then everything's kind of like flipping the script. Is that kind of what's going on?
Yeah, pretty much, honestly, because I mean we'd look for stuff to do together as a team, like when the quarantine stuff was going on, and we'd do like Zoom sessions and like we'd hop on Fortnite with each other and try and do that type of stuff. But yeah, it hasn't been really easy until the last year. So
yeah, I forgot it was the Zooms because we
Zooms,
would do
Zooms with everybody, not even just you guys.
Yeah,
like, I was doing Zooms with my college teammates during that time. Like we hadn't seen each other in a few years, and we were like, just get like, what's going on in your life, man? What's going on in your life?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like we'd do our study tables like over Zoom. Like it was just everything was on Zoom. So it was like,
were you just in your dorm room all the time? Was the gym even open?
Yeah.
Gym wasn't even open, right?
Well, yeah, it would be open, but we had to wear masks in there. So it sucked. It was
breathing
terrible.
While working out.
Yeah, so your mask would get all sweaty and stuff. Yeah. It was weird. So yeah, I think like last year we were able to fully kind of build like a team connection, and we were with each other like 6 days a week without getting shut down. So it was just like going from freshman year, and then last year we also had double the amount of games and a spring break trip. So that was pretty.
Where'd you guys go for spring break?
We went to Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, that was another thing for me. Like, we went to Florida my freshman year, and I hadn't gone since last year, when technically my senior year. So that was kind of crazy to get only 2 spring trips basically.
Yeah, no, that is crazy. We did our spring trip down in Arizona. I was rehabbing during that time, which was the crappy part. I couldn't even go. But those are always the fun games. Arizona, Florida. You guys said you went to Houston, Texas your year. I know he didn't, but you did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was it down there? Houston, Texas. I didn't know they did some spring training stuff.
Yeah, it was fine. The weather was decent. I think it was rainy maybe one day, but
Yeah.
I actually got sick when we went down there, so I missed a game or 2. But yeah, it was nice to go down there. And I think
you play against like a bunch of the Texas schools, or did you?
Yeah, it
a
was.
lot of teams from up
it was
here?
the Houston team down there. Was it Trinity? I
Trinity
think.
College.
Yeah.
Okay.
I might be wrong on that. I don't really remember much from it because I was sick. But yeah.
Yeah. No worries.
So we played some good teams down there, though. Yeah.
We used to do when I was at Anoka Ramsey my first 2 years, we'd go down to drive a bus down to Arkansas, of all places. Like nothing, like obviously low budget, junior college, whatever. And we'd play like Tyler, Texas, which they're like one of the top junior colleges. And then who else? Northern Arkansas Community College. And they were like, I don't know. There was this one guy. He was like up here throwing like 94, and then he'd drop down here and throw 98. And clearly the guy just didn't have his smarts figured out because he'd be pitching at a D1. Our team like actually visited their house, like the college baseball house. We left our hotel, like, you know, we can talk about that now, whatever.
Yeah.
But the guy's like, yeah, Cincinnati Reds are looking at me. And like, I'm like, what the heck, man? Like, why are you here? I don't know if you guys have faced any like freaks that you're just like, what the heck?
There's some guys that are pretty good in the conference, but
Yeah, I would say the most kind of like pitching exposure we've seen was when we went to Florida, though. Just like, I guess just
It's a
different
level.
different play styles and stuff from like all over the country.
Well, they
was
take
just
their
crazy.
baseball serious down there.
Yeah.
We had a Fort Myers tournament down there just early December, and the umps were crazy. I don't know if like they were like sticklers for the rules and everything. Like
Yeah.
just on point. One ump kicked the other ump out because he wasn't he wasn't doing the right signs to him and stuff. And we're like, what the heck, man? Like he doesn't know what the heck he's talking about. Like,
Yeah.
And then he came back like an inning later, and we're like, what the heck's going on? I don't know what's going on.
I've never heard of that.
No, I don't
Kicking
know.
an
Like they
ump
take
out.
their baseball serious, and if you don't know what you're talking about, they're like, you're out.
Yeah, that's
kinda,
crazy.
Kind of wish we had that in our conference.
Right?
Oh my gosh,
You're
yeah.
probably just trying to find umps
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, that's
No,
basically what it is.
seriously.
Yeah.
What, 1 ump a game, 2 umps in a
It's 2.
2?
Yeah, we get 1 behind the plate, obviously, and then
Yeah.
1 down first base.
Yeah, it's always nice when you get 3 or 4 for like
Yeah.
national tournament stuff.
Yeah.
But, you guys have a funny story like about your time in college with teammates or anything?
I would think, I don't know if I have a specific funny story, but I think the trips and team bus rides are
Oh,
just
yeah.
always the best because like you never know what's like
Never know
just
what's
just
gonna
random
happen.
things happen and it's like
Yeah.
the things that are the most memorable. So
Yeah.
I would say that, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Like, you got anything to add on that?
Well, I had just like a general athlete story from kind of middle school and high school.
Okay, that's fine.
So I played football back in middle school, and it was my first season playing, and I didn't get to play running back until like the last game of the year. I was like 100 pounds. That was like the only thing I could do, running back or like receiver or something.
Okay.
But I get the ball on like the first play. It's like a run up the middle. We're on like our own 15-yard line. It was a wide open hole. All I have to do is get around the linebacker, go down the sideline, and score. So I'm running down the sideline, probably not fast enough because I get tackled about the 5-yard line by this big dude, like a lineman for them. And then I'm like, wow, like that's embarrassing. Whatever. My first run is pretty good, but
The lineman caught up to you?
yeah, but this
That's
big
the
dude
funny
caught
part.
up to me. Yeah. Fast forward to high school, I'm talking to one of my friends who played football in the league and in that league, and then he played football in high school, which I stopped in middle school. But we were on basketball and baseball and stuff together. And then he was like, "Yeah, I remember this time when I was in the dome, and I chased down this guy running from like his own 10-yard line all the way down the sideline, tackled him. He just like saved a touchdown." And I was like, that was me.
That was me.
No.
And you guys didn't realize it until
Yeah.
like
And then he's
however
like,
long
I think
later.
my dad has that on video, and like we went and like found the video.
That's
we were watching it.
ridiculous. He didn't know it was you. Your name wasn't on the back. It was
Yeah,
just a
that's
number.
Exactly. So yeah, we connected that. He's like one of my best friends now. So
Because of that story.
which
That's
is
funny.
crazy, but
That's great.
yeah, he was just announced All-American for St. Thomas this year.
Holy
So,
crap, Division I football.
Yeah, he's a center for them.
No wonder
so,
he caught you.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, he kept playing football. I stopped there. So
There you go.
There you go.
That's awesome. Oh, man. So those are the funny stories. Like, they always bring together, like, people in general. Like, the camaraderie stories that we have with our younger guys playing on club teams is, like, these holiday tournaments. Like, I was catching these 15, 16-year-old boys, like, stealing hot chocolate out of the vending area and, like, the hotel staff yelling at them. I'm like, what the heck, guys? And then I'm starting to remember, I'm like, crap, I was 15 once. I did dumb crap. But no, like, those stories with, like, friends, like, those are, like, keep you together. I'm sure you guys will have more than this next year with baseball, with the bus rides. I had one teammate, and I was actually just texting him today because he's down from Canada in Arizona. He was seeing if I was down there because I sometimes go down there around New Year's. And I was remembering on our bus rides, like, before games or after games, he would take his shirt off. We'd blast Sandstorm in the bus, and he would just, like, rage. I don't know if you guys know Sandstorm. Do you?
Yeah.
I know it's way before.
The EDM one.
The EDM one, like the old EDM, like from the 90s or early 2000s.
Yep.
Like, just rage. We would put that on in the weight room, too, and, like, just let him just go all out, like, dancing, like, before lifts or after lifts. Those are the funny things that I remember. Why did you guys decide to keep pursuing baseball after high school? Because, like, some guys who are, good enough decide they just don't want to. But then what drives you guys to keep playing? Like, because baseball is, like, America's pastime, Why is that?
I would say that in high school, I guess one was definitely COVID. I wanted to play my senior year, so I was like, I'm not going to let something like that stop me, like, from playing baseball again.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that was one of the reasons why I, like, chose to go to Morris, because otherwise I was going to try to walk on wherever I chose. But I think other reasons were just because I like playing baseball and, like, the whole team aspect of it, and just that's where I've gotten all my lifelong relationships with friends and stuff. Like, that's just kind of why I like playing baseball. And it's also just, like, the competitiveness. Like I don't know. I've just spent so much time playing it, whereas, like, I can't just give it up like that. Like, I know I have more in the tank or whatever, so, like, I need to figure out, like, what it's going to look like in college.
Yeah, what it could take for you to get to your next step, like just becoming a better player, because your last year of high school that got cut, right?
Yeah.
I understand that. I had a similar experience when I was in high school, and I actually had a conversation with Coach Smith about this, because I like my senior year of high school, I was starting point guard on the basketball team. I tore my oblique last high school game at Blaine High School here against a lot of my old teammates from traveling for Spring Lake Park. So it was like one of those things. And then I got mono. So my senior year of high school, I only pitched my senior day. And so, and they were trying to keep some younger guys coming up, so I didn't get put on the state tournament roster.
Yep.
And it was just that's just kind of how my whole career was. Mm-hmm. But then I had a conversation with Mike Smith 8 months ago, and I'm like, thank you for cutting me. Because then only in high school, I was only throwing 75 miles an hour. And I would have never gotten to 90 miles an hour if it wasn't for somebody being this just isn't your time, and then coming back from that. So that was my driver. Yeah. What about you, Ryan? What kept driving you to play after high school?
Yeah, honestly, growing up, I played sports, all different types of sports, and I loved doing it. And then I wanted to keep doing that going to college. And then honestly, why I've stayed with it and not quit or anything like that is just because the challenge it brings, especially being a pitcher, it develops you so much as a person and off the field and an athlete in general. So it's just been a lot of fun doing that, and I love doing it now. So
absolutely. They call us pitchers weird, right? We're all weird in our own way. Lefties are even weirder. We're all righties, so we're good. But
you gotta embrace it, though. Everybody's weird.
I shouldn't say that right now because Evan's gonna be in here next, and he's a lefty. So
he's throwing shade.
Exactly. No, embrace it. I always tell my guys, all the kids that train with us and I coach, like you're a bulldog on the mound and like all that stuff, and like I think that prepares you for life too, like how you approach every single day and like who you are as a person. So I like that. So you guys have I don't know if you've had jobs, I'm assuming since, I don't know, high school when you were 16 or so. Like, have you guys had a worst and favorite job that you've had year to date or anything?
I've had some pretty good jobs, honestly. Like,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
I mean, not like it's a ton of fun, but like there's been guys that I've worked with. Like, I got lucky where my first job was at a golf course that my friend I was working at,
Which golf course?
Applewood Hills in Stillwater.
Haven't played it.
It's a short course.
Oh,
it's
a short
par
course,
3,
par
yeah.
3. Okay.
But yeah, got into the game of golf from doing that. So that was why I liked that job. And then there was this other job I worked with, like 10 friends from high school. We did this construction job this one summer. We were like building a house. It was the craziest thing, but yeah, it was a lot of fun doing stuff with friends. Like, it doesn't really matter what the work is if you're with friends. So
absolutely. Yeah. And so since you were a two-way player, it made sense that you were a pitcher because then you can golf more.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It doesn't mess up your swing.
Exactly, yeah.
That's exactly why I did. No, it's because I couldn't hit. But let's be honest.
Whenever we golf, like, we golf with position guys on the team or whatever. Like, last year, my roommate, he swings. I think he's a lefty in baseball, but he swings righty in golf. He's like, I don't want to mess up my swing. Like,
100%.
That type of thing, so.
Some guys like Mike Trout, I don't know if you've seen the Top Golf video where he just like cranks it.
Yep.
Like, he's just like, some guys, if their swing is so pure it doesn't matter.
Yep.
But most guys it's slice. Slice.
That's me.
So what about you? For least favorite job and favorite job, if you got one.
I wouldn't say that I've like had a least favorite either. There's been stuff about like in the jobs that I just hate doing, but the past one I worked was for the city of Blaine. Oddly enough, it was in the storm sewer department. Not as bad as it sounds though. It was where I was working this summer. With what I was doing, it was more like road work, I guess. But I learned a lot of stuff from it. So I mean that's always good. But I mean.
Yeah, you told me you worked for Parks and Rec and stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't say I've ever had like a lease. I don't know. I just wouldn't. I feel like I'm the person who wouldn't want to do a job if I didn't like doing it, or I'd just find something else to do. So.
Plans this next summer for a job?
Maybe working here.
Says the guy who wants to start his own facility. That's awesome. No, like we'll be out at Lexington. We'll be out at BBC running our practices, running camps, and doing all that stuff. So like. There might be an opportunity. We'll see.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
We'll see. What would you guys say your biggest accomplishment as an athlete is, or a baseball player so far? Ryan first.
Honestly, like I mentioned before, it kind of goes back for me to not giving up and sticking with baseball because it's been tough for me like the last few years as a transitioning to a pitcher when I never really did that in high school.
Yeah.
Or growing up. Maybe in Little League I was a pitcher a little bit, but so is everybody that can throw.
Everybody who can throw it in this vicinity.
So,
right?
The most rewarding thing for me has been kind of just like going through the ups and downs of learning to be a pitcher and that type of stuff. So,
have you had any injuries and stuff?
Yeah, actually, I think it was my sophomore year. I strained my tricep, and then this actually is. I feel like I'm always injured, like every few months. But yeah, I fractured my wrist in a town ball game this summer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I was hitting. So my coach wasn't too happy about that. But
so maybe giving up the hitting.
Well, the game before that, I hit a walk-off double in the bottom of the 10th inning when I came in and pitched the inning before that. So the team wanted me to hit again. So then I do that. I go 0 for 4 and break my wrist in the process. So yeah,
pitchers can rake.
For hitting.
Pitchers can rake. I mean, ask Zach Greinke. We were just talking about this the other day. That guy thinks he can hit. So if you think the same thing and you can actually hit, just don't break the wrist.
Yeah.
Because then you can't pitch.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to at least be able to do the thing that you love. What about you, Joey?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, no worries. What would you say your biggest accomplishment so far is as a baseball player or an athlete?
Gosh, I would say that I guess getting to college, being a college baseball player, because like out of high school I didn't have like a defined like spot of where I was gonna go or like really what I was gonna do for college either. I was like undecided, like I really didn't know what to do. But yeah, getting to college and then just like growing up, I've been like better at pitching. So I guess just like from high school getting to college and then like just kind of exploding like in pitching when I got to college, and just like kind of eye-opening experience, I guess.
Yeah.
Just like because I never knew it was going to turn out like this. So
Absolutely. No, it sounds like you guys have been on a good journey so far. Like tell us a little bit about the college experience, like any certain moments that you've done well in, because I don't know too much about your college career yet.
I would say the best game I had was against Northwestern last year.
Okay.
It was
Should have told Dobie that.
yeah.
I'm coming for you guys again.
Yeah. That game I went 7 innings with I think I had like 3-4 strikeouts maybe.
Okay.
But I just like kept us in the game. I think they only put up 1 or 2 runs against me. But then the game previous to that, we'd gotten no hit, so I just had to like turn something around, like get people going.
Yeah.
The worst part about it was that it was like I don't think it was above 32 degrees. I would find that hard to believe.
And you pitched that well during that. Like I told you, I hated pitching during that.
Yeah, it had to have been like mid-20s. The wind was horrible. Like if I was off the mound, my hands were in my back pockets, like hand warmers in both.
Oh, yeah.
I had like 3 shirts on. I had 2 pairs of socks, like long.
As much as you can get on to stay warm to be able to go out there the next inning. And you're like actually hoping like, okay, let's score 1 or 2 runs, not have a big inning, because then I'm just going to go out there and my hand's just going to be a pile of mud. That
was probably one of the craziest things that I've like been through as a pitcher before.
Awesome.
Just weird adversity stuff.
What about you, Ryan?
I think pretty much, I don't know if I can point to a specific game, but just times where I've come in with like guys in scoring position or bases loaded and getting out with no runs. That's, as a reliever, kind of what I pride myself on doing, is putting up zeros whenever I can.
Absolutely. And then that gets your whole defense and your hitters to be like, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's how you turn the game around as a pitcher, why it's so important. Who do you guys look up to and why, Joey?
I would say that I look up to my dad the most.
Absolutely. He was the one who went to the park with you to catch you all the time, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He just, like, taught me how to play sports, like, was there for, like, every sports game, taught me how to be a good person, so, yeah.
Absolutely. That's good. Take all those qualities as much as you can. What about you, Ryan?
I'd say ditto to that, but
ditto. Yeah,
also
sorry I had him go. I'll have you go first next time.
For, like, athlete perspective, like, guys like Tiger Woods and Michael Jordan growing up.
Yeah.
Growing up, you look at those guys and you're like, you want to be like them, and because they're winners and stuff. But then, like, I feel like getting into college and at this level, you're like, appreciate their work ethic more, and you're like, oh wow, it takes a lot to be where they're at.
Oh yeah, way more than you like. You're just watching on the TV and you're like, oh, that guy just sunk that like 30-foot putt. Like, oh, that's easy. But then like all the work and the hours that go through it, and then all the injuries that you have to come back with adversity. Like that was my whole career. Like so many injuries. Like I don't know if it was just not in the cards for me or whatnot. I still did really well, but it was more like you got to deal with this for a month or two, come back from it, have a good span, something else comes up. Like that's what sports does, and like gets you to your next level. So I'm glad you guys realized that. Do you guys have a daily routine that you like kind of do on a daily basis to get you, not necessarily, well, it can be for baseball, but just like in general? They say like highly successful people, they do a certain thing, they have a routine. If you got one, awesome. If not, no worries. Ryan?
I have more routine when I'm at school and I have to do stuff.
This is winter break right now. Like your only routine is like, okay, when's Gabe gonna change the schedule on me for workouts tomorrow? That's your routine. So sorry about that.
Yeah, so like I get up during school probably 8, 9 a.m., make breakfast, shower, whatever, go to class, get lunch. Maybe we have weights at some point during that day.
What lunch do you usually get at the? You're on your own, so you make your own.
Yeah,
stuff,
I usually
right?
end up making my own food. My go-to is chicken and rice and
chicken
broccoli,
and rice. That's all it is. Maybe put some yum yum sauce on there, like something, some honey, whatever makes it work, man. What about you, Joey? Daily routine, and then I'll ask you what your favorite meal is, I guess, if that comes up in your daily routine. Hopefully, you eat during the day.
Yeah. No, never. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I really have like a specific routine. I mean, I do kind of like, I guess, the same things every day, like go to baseball, blah blah blah. But then like filler things in between, I'm kind of just like an on the fly person. Like pops in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go do that right now. But I don't really have like I have to do this like every day.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I got you. Cool. Well, if we hire you on this summer, you'll get a daily routine
Oh,
of
yeah.
like
Yeah.
getting things going.
I would agree with Ryan though. I think at school it's like
Yeah,
way
everything's
easier.
structured. Like
Yeah.
you got class. It's probably like when you're in high school where you're like, all right, got to wake up at the crack of dawn.
Yeah.
Drive down 65, go to that little small building at TG,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And then we got Evan back here who went to Fridley. He's like
Yep.
looking across Moore Lake. I hate that place. Oh, it's so funny. What would you guys consider yourselves, introvert or extrovert?
Probably an introvert until you get to know me, I feel like.
Okay. Do you get energy when you're around people, or does it
Yeah,
kind of
for the most part.
Okay.
If I have the right people around me, I'm pretty talkative, I would say. But
Okay.
if in a larger group, I'm pretty quiet.
Got it. Until they get to know you.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
Yeah, I'd probably say the same thing. It just depends on like the situation.
The setting.
Like smaller group, I think I'm much more like talkative.
Yeah.
Just like either friend group or maybe like you could put in a school group or whatever.
For sure.
Because then it's like, I hate like awkward silent stuff where it's just like everyone's looking around like not
Right.
knowing what to do. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say I'm more on the introvert side, but
Yeah. Like before this podcast when everybody was nervous.
yeah.
Just kidding, but yeah, no, I get what you're saying. As a pitcher, like, how would you say you guys are on the mound? Like, are you more the excited type where you're like, let's go? Or are you guys like the calm, cool, and collected? Like what type of pitchers are you guys?
I'm definitely more calm, cool, and collected.
Okay.
You might get a fist bump out of me.
Fist bump? A tiger fist bump?
Yeah, fist pump and a let's go is kind of my go-to probably, but
Okay.
yeah, that's probably all you're going to get out of me.
That's all right.
Yeah, I'd probably say I'm all like serious on the mound, but
You're all serious?
yeah, I get
Okay.
pretty like focused, like kind of tunnel vision-ish. Like my dad's always like, "Oh yeah, you hear me say this?" I'm like, I don't hear anything when I'm out there. Like I'm pretty focused.
Yo.
But then as soon as I step like off the field or in the dugout after an inning, like I'm pretty open, like talking to people. Like I just get really anxious, so I
Yeah.
need to like have things to distract me and stuff without like
For
being
sure.
too crazy. So
Yeah. How I was, it was like Taylor will tell you, we've talked about this in previous podcasts, but I was like, people thought that I hated them. Like I literally wouldn't talk to anybody. Once I get to the field, it was all preparation and like just focused on like what I needed to do. And then I'd sit in the corner in the dugout. But in my mind, I was telling Taylor, like I thought I was being like boisterous and like, let's go. But
Yeah.
that was all happening in my mind, but I was just like so focused of what's going on.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like whatever you do to get into that peak state, like you need to perform in that situation, like keep doing that, like because it's all about your preparation and like what you're doing, and that's what makes you a good pitcher. You know?
Yeah.
You guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Definitely.
100%.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Out of like you guys have used different training tools in the past, maybe not as much as we got here, like all the different things, but like, do you guys have a favorite training tool that you use on before you're throwing or whatnot? Like certain things that help you work on different skills that you're trying to master with your pitching motion and stuff?
Yeah, I've been using med balls a lot lately, kind of doing drills like with that off the mound or on the upslope on the mound and working on like pretty much everything, honestly, with med balls. So
Yeah, what's the main part of your mechanics that you're working on right now?
separation, honestly, for me, and kind of using my backside more efficiently. I've been struggling with that, so.
Okay. Yeah, take a little bit of pressure off the arm, make it more fluid. What about you, Joey?
I would say over the past like year-ish, maybe since I got to college, plyo balls.
Okay.
I like hated throwing them in high school.
Really?
I never thought they did anything. Maybe it was just the program or whatever, but I hated using them. So I never used them. I was just more like J-bands, get to the field, like just start playing catch.
Yeah.
Like I just get like so excited when I get to the field. I just like want to start throwing right away.
Yeah, just
So
like
I
just
hated-
like every kid does.
Yeah, I hated warming up, doing all that like stretching. No, just like get there and start throwing right away.
Joey, I don't know if we can hire you, man. I'm all about the preparation, man.
Well, now it's a little different, but yeah, before, yeah, I hated that stuff.
I gotcha. No, I didn't start using J-bands I used bands in high school, but I didn't use J-bands. I used those in college, and then I started using driveline balls my like junior year of college, because that was like 2017 or so. Yeah, that I feel like that program, like if you're consistent with it and you're doing the proper form, like if that's you probably didn't like it in high school because maybe you just like it just didn't seem like it was helping, or maybe instruction wise you just didn't get told like why you're doing it. Like I don't do something unless I know the reason why.
Yeah, I think it was more like result driven too. Like I was with other kids who were like gaining velo, and then I was there and I was like, why is this not working? I hate using these, blah blah blah. So
yeah, you know, it's everybody's process. Like with velocity too, it's like I was telling Evan this a long time ago. It's like there's such a different process with it. Like everybody thinks it's like this, and for some kids it might, just because of a certain mechanical flaw, it'll just go like this, but they'll plateau at some point, and then it's like, oh, maybe we're going backwards and that's back up. Like that's the process of baseball. That's kind of why we like doing it and keep trying to get in the next level. I'll just end it right here, but I appreciate you guys coming on. What is your, I want to ask you this. We haven't done it on the other podcast, but I want to get a framework of like what your guys' definition of what a complete athlete is. So Ryan, what do you got for me? Oh, tough question for last. Sorry I left that for the last.
Somebody who's able to run fast. Maybe they're pretty strong. They can play multiple sports well.
Okay.
I think that would be a pretty good definition for it.
I gotcha. What about you, Joey?
Yeah, I'd probably piggyback off that. Someone who, like, if you're on a team, you look at him and you're like, oh yeah, that guy's like gonna be one of the best players. Like
like they're well-rounded.
Yeah,
like they're
strong, fast.
Can move well.
Yeah, move well. Maybe he
born leader.
Yeah, he leads. Maybe not though, but like he just sets himself apart from other people who are just average.
I agree with you right there, man. And so where can listeners find you online? We're going to post your guys' like, if you guys use Instagram or Twitter or whatever social media you use.
I think my Instagram handle is just all lowercase joey.reinarts.
Okay.
I think that's it.
All right.
Yeah, I think mine's Ryan_Wilhelm13. So.
Okay, sweet. Do you guys use Twitter at all?
I do. I think my Twitter handle should be the same. Should just be Joey.
You can.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My bad.
I mean, it should just be Joey.Reinarts or Joey_Reinarts. One or two, something like that.
After this, find it out, text me. I'll give it to Taylor.
Yeah. I was just going to plug our Cougs Bro Pen Twitter account. That we have.
Shout out.
At Cougs Bro Pen on Twitter. So.
All right. Roll Cougs, right?
Yeah. Roll Cougs, baby. Let's go.
All right. Thanks for coming on, guys.